Oh, this one's a lot shorter to read, thank goodness. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Malnoxx, and today we have another Genshin Impact video for you. We've got two new artifact sets coming out in Natlan, the Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City, that's a mouthful, and Obsidian Codex. Let's go ahead and take a look at these and see what we have coming up. Starting with Scroll of the Hero of Cinder City. I'm just gonna call it Cinder City because the rest of that's way too much. All right, so 2-piece is when a nearby party member triggers a nightsoul burst, the equipping character regenerates 6 elemental energy. Now, nightsoul is one of the new mechanics coming in Natlan. It's the one that makes like the character's outline glow. It seems like it activates during the character's skill. As far as I can tell, there's not a lot of official information out about nightsoul at this point in time. Hopefully, as we get closer to Natlan's release, they'll start releasing some more information about nightsoul, about how it's going to work. Kind of like what they did with Fontaine. So I'm expecting that to come soon. But essentially, it seems like maybe in their skill or just when certain things happen, it will trigger the character's nightsoul burst, I guess. Putting them into the nightsoul state and then unlocking their full potential. This set that seems to have these effects around nightsoul burst and nightsoul blessing, the effectiveness of the set is really going to depend on how nightsoul actually works, what the kind of cooldown of that nightsoul burst is, how often the character can go into the nightsoul state, or how often the character can receive the nightsoul blessing. All that's going to have a huge impact. But equipping character regenerates 6 elemental energy whenever a party member triggers nightsoul burst. So maybe if the character is like in the party, something can trigger their burst even when they're off field, perhaps, and then that's regenerating energy. So that could be really helpful. And then the 4-piece is after the equipping character triggers a reaction related to their elemental type, all nearby party members gain a 12% elemental damage bonus for the elemental type involved in the elemental reaction for 15 seconds. So if you have a pyro character that triggers a melt reaction, then pyro and cryo would receive that 12% elemental damage buff for 15 seconds because melt is pyro and cryo. Similarly, if you swirl any element, it would be anemo and the element you swirled, so on and so forth. That would receive that elemental damage bonus. If the equipping character is in the nightsoul blessing state when triggering the effect, all nearby party members gain an additional 28% damage bonus of the elemental type involved in the reaction for 20 seconds. Now that's not 28 instead of 12, that's an additional, meaning that's a total of 40% elemental damage bonus if they were in the nightsoul state. 12% of that lasts for 15 seconds, 28% of that lasts for 20 seconds. So you're gonna have like a 15-second window of 40% damage, and then a 5-second window of 28% damage. I think I'm reading that right. The equipping character can trigger this effect while off field, and the damage bonus from artifacts set with the same name do not stack. So if you have multiple characters running Cinder City, it's not going to stack, but the equipping character can trigger this effect while off field. Maybe you can be in the nightsoul blessing state off field, I don't know. But it is cool that like if you have a character that has off field skill, like if you're using like Official or a Yaimiko or an Albedo or something like that, then you know when you trigger a reaction with whatever their skill is that they left on field with your current character, then this effect can still trigger. So if you have, this set on Official and Oz is out and you trigger, an electro reaction with another character, then this effect will still trigger and you'll still get that elemental damage bonus. Seems like a really cool set. It's going to be a lot of fun to play around with. The elemental reactions, I mean, that's going to be, I feel like more beneficial for teams that have obviously multiple of the same element in them, since it's buffing the elemental damage of, the ones involved in the reaction. So, whoever your current character is obviously is going to get the bonus, but maybe you'll get some more bonus out of it if you're running a team that has maybe 2 of that element in it. But it's going to be fun to play around with. It's going to be interesting to see. Again, it's going to hinge around how that nightsoul blessing mechanic really works. And then next up, we have Obsidian Codex. Oh, this one's a lot shorter to read, thank goodness. While the equipping character is in nightsoul blessing and is on field, their damage dealt is increased by 15%. So just a straight 15% damage buff when you're in nightsoul blessing. So this specific artifact set seems like it's going to be very specific to Natlan characters, because this one doesn't revolve around like when the equipping character, uses the burst, or you're under the effect of a nightsoul blessing or a nightsoul burst is triggered or something like that. It's when the equipping character is in nightsoul's blessing. and is on the field. Now, I assume only Natlan characters can go into Nightsoul's Blessing, unless Nightsoul's Blessing is going to be a mechanic that will trigger off-field and affect whoever is currently on field. But the way they made it seem in the live stream is that only like the Natlan characters, this is going to be kind of like Osea and Numa were in Fontaine. This is going to be like Natlan characters special thing. But 15% damage buff in Nightsoul Blessing is pretty cool. And after the equipping character consumes 1 Nightsoul point while on the field, again, I have no idea what that means because I don't know how Nightsoul Blessing works yet. So I don't know what a Nightsoul point is, but it's going to be something that apparently we can consume. And when we do consume it, crit rate increases by 40% for 6 seconds. And this effect can trigger once every second, which seems freaking insane. And if we have characters that can consistently generate Nightsoul points for us to then consume, then this could potentially be a permanent 40% crit rate buff, kind of like we see with Blizzard or with the Hunter set right now, where you're getting that consistent crit rate buff from the 4-piece. So this could be kind of Natlan's version of that. So if you have a character that consistently can not only generate but also consume those Nightsoul points, since it triggers every second, this set right here might just be straight up 15% buff when you're in the Blessing and then a permanent 40% crit rate buff. Seems kind of crazy, but this one definitely seems like more Natlan character specific, whereas this one seems like it could synergize with a lot of different characters. But again, that all could very well change as soon as we figure out exactly how Nightsoul Blessing works, what the difference between the Nightsoul Blessing, the Nightsoul Burst, Nightsoul Points, all of that stuff comes together. Hopefully, we'll know in the next couple days. There's a lot more exciting stuff coming up with Natlan, guys, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and share it out with a friend who's getting ready for Natlan. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of these artifact sets, who you're going to put them on, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys for hanging out, and until next time, you stay legendary. And remember, the sun will rise, and we will try again. Peace out.